We're going to roll the bones here. We got about 8 minutes or 9 minutes left in the show, and this call may be very quick. I don't know. John in London.
Hi, Matt. We spoke over the email. Do you remember me?
Yeah, didn't I say in the email that the conversation was over?
Yeah, you said that I didn't have any proof and evidence to justify my Christianity.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not that, it's that you reject my evidence. But I'll grant you this and say, what proof and evidence do you have that atheism is accurate and correct?
Didn't I answer this in the email to you, that your question is nonsensical because atheism doesn't have a burden of proof? It is the rejection of claims that haven't met their burden of proof. Your question is nonsensical.
Yeah, atheism is the lack of belief in something.
Yeah, but what proof and evidence do you have?
Okay, I don't know how many other ways I can explain this.
I lack the belief because I know what's inside my head.
I don't know how else I can explain this, but let's imagine that I have a box here, and Don claims that there is a unicorn in this box, and I say I don't believe him. I don't need any proof or evidence that my position is true. My position is validated by the fact that he hasn't presented any evidence for his claim. And when I open the box and look inside, I don't see this. And so then he tells me that it's an invisible unicorn. And I mentioned it wouldn't fit in this box. And he says, no, it's an invisible miniature unicorn. Well, I don't feel it. Well, it's also intangible. Oh, well, how do you know it's there? Well, because it speaks to me. Okay, that's all nonsense. He's made a claim, and he's failed to provide rational evidence for it. My disbelief is justified by that.
Okay, Matt. Okay, Matt, I'll grant you that. But the invisible unicorn in your imaginary box is not an ideology like atheism is. So what proof and evidence do you have that atheism is accurate?
You're done. You're done, John. You're done. I can't explain it. I explained it in email. I explained it here. We are on a shortened scope. There's no way I'm going to waste time explaining things like that. It's not an ideology. Atheism isn't a dogma. It's not an ideology. It's not a worldview. It is nothing more than a single position on a single issue. If you believe that gods exist, you are a theist. If you do not believe, you are an atheist. Everything else that would be considered ideological is separate, which is why atheists can be libertarians, Green Party, Republican, Democrat, whatever. It's why atheists could be pro-life, pro-choice, whatever. None of those things are derived from atheism. Atheism doesn't tell you anything at all about what you should do. It tells you what it is that you do not believe. I do not believe the claims that gods exist. I'm sorry that you cannot wrap your head around the burden of proof, epistemology, where and how we determine what evidence should or shouldn't be considered valid and useful. I'm absolutely sorry that you can't do that, but I have no other way to explain it to you, which we've done in email and on 2 or 3 shows now. And you've come with, oh, people can drink poisons just like it says in Mark 16. Well, first of all, Mark 16, 9 through 20 is most likely a forgery, and if you do a little research, you'd find that out. Besides the fact that it's asinine to say that you'll know these people because they'll be able to handle snakes and not die, and drink poisons and not die, and that they'll cast out devils in my name, and this is how you'll know them. If you actually go and research, those verses do not exist in the oldest and best manuscripts of Mark. But even if they did, even if they're valid, even if they've been there from the beginning, and you know somebody who drank some poison and didn't die, that doesn't mean that the cause of their not dying was a God who's making this statement true. It's asinine. And you're done, John. You don't get on anymore, ever.